Hi all, my name is Dipesh Mehta. Some of you know me, some of you may not be knowing me. So I'm the founder of my firm Happy Investor FinServe LLP. So today we have a very special event and special session dedicated for women on the investing process. I'm sure this will add a lot of value, a lot of inputs. I'm sure we would be providing you a lot of tips, inputs in this session. So let me just get started with this. So the title of the topic that we have kept was, the superpower of wealth, women in investing process. We all see that, we all have been hearing that, this is a male dominant society and, women don't invest. And these are the kind of stories that we always keep on listening. But I would like to start with some facts, some interesting facts. There's data from income tax which says that the late filers who filed taxes in the last week are men. 68% of men file taxes late in the last week of the due date or probably in the first week after the due date. However, only 32% of women file their taxes late. So if you see in this process, what happens is that women take early steps when it comes to tax filing. Another data, this is a data from Economic Times, which says that percentage of women who dropped in the middle while getting an investment started. So what do I mean? This is that somebody who took a step to make the investment, the number of women who dropped are lower than the number of men. The blue bar represent the men charts. So we'll just look at the data of 2021. By 2021, about 10% of the women dropped out after starting the investment, where the percentage is higher for male. Another set of data, what do we understand from this? The perception is that, we always have the perception that men are better investors than women. But the reality is that women are disciplined and stick to their plan when it comes to approach like investing. So the fact is that women are better investors. They are disciplined, they stick to the plan rather than approach investing like trading. The other perception is that women withdraw money sooner and then they are less confident. This is what the society thinks, but this is not the fact. The reality is that they don't be overconfident and then lead this they are not overconfident, which makes sure that they are patient in volatile markets. The other perception is that women are less willing to seek professional help, which is not the fact. Women are more likely to seek professional help, resulting in lower financial mistakes. This is what the data says. This is the perception that we have, but the fact is this is the reality. At least in our firm, Happy Investor, there are about 40% women clients. So we know the data. We know this data. So with this, for a woman, these are the actual things that actually are needed. They need basic risk towards life and health. They have a lot of annual requirements that they want to take vacations every year. They have short-term needs and long-term needs. They want liquidity at different points in time. They need systematic withdrawal plan arrangement for their elderly parents. Women are more connected towards the parents. And then they need systematic withdrawal regular income when there are phases where they don't have any income. What happens in a woman's life? I'll just explain this. For the first 20 years of her life, we get trained, go to school, college, and then get a job. You all start a career, take a small break, start another career, take a small break, start one more career, and then take a break. Some women's life are like this. Some women's life are something like this. They work for some time, take a small sabbatical, then work for some time, take a small maternity break. So they have a lot of work plus lot of mini retirements. So with this, sometimes their financials go up and down. It gets jeopardized. So they need to understand what are the possible disruptions they could have and how they need to handle such disruptions. So what you should be expecting today in the next 50-55 minutes from now, that we will be understanding what is financial well-being. We all understand what is well-being, health well-being. So today we'll understand what is financial well-being. We'll understand how to achieve financial well-being. We'll also understand what are the action plans that are required to achieve financial well-being. So with this, let's just get started off. What is financial well-being? In my definition, financial well-being means meeting one of the definition of financial well-being is meeting your financial goals. I have a goal that I want to buy a car in the next 3 years, and then I save in a very disciplined way, and then I go and meet my financial goals, and that is one of the definition of financial well-being. The another definition of financial well-being is that prepared for an unexpected financial event. We all know life will not be certain; there will always be ups and downs in life. So we all have to be prepared for unexpected financial event. The best example is COVID, which had an impact for all of us as well from the health point of view as well as from the financial point of view. The other meaning of financial well-being is that having peace and satisfaction about your financial situation. So this is what financial well-being is all about. We'll go deeper into this. So there are 3 steps to achieve financial well-being.
You should try out for Miss Korea.
Okay. There are 3 steps that we could achieve financial well-being. What are those? Prioritize, plan, and then review. We'll all go in the depth of this. This session is planned in such a way that we go in the depth of this subject and rightly understand how we need to plan our finances. Some of you might be knowing these topics. For some of you, this could be new. But I would suggest all of you to actually listen to this because there are a lot of interesting points that we'll be talking about. So the first point was prioritize your financial health. So we all take care of wealth. We all take care of our health. Similarly, we also need to take care of our wealth as well, because the key is not to prioritize what is your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. So when you actually prioritize something, things happen. This is what research and data says that if you prioritize things are going to happen much faster for you. If you don't set up a priority for your financial well-being, things will not happen. So the first thing that you need to keep in mind is that you have to prioritize your financial health. Then the second thing is prepare a financial plan. So we all let's say if we build a house, then what do we do is that first if the blueprint of the house is being planned, and then based on the blueprint, the architect or the engineer constructs the building. Similarly, when it comes to financials, you need to have a blueprint of your financial plan. How do we prepare this blueprint? You first need to understand your financial position, where you are. Are you more heavy on debt, or are you saving more? You need to understand your financial position. Then the next step is prepare for contingencies. You need to have liquidity requirements. When I say contingencies, I would define this that you should be having 6 to 8 months of your monthly expense set aside in your bank account or liquid funds set aside for contingencies. You may lose your job. Family members could need some money. There could be some medical emergency in the family, so you need to be prepared for this. And then the third step is that plan for your goals and current goals as well as future goals. You all need to have a specific financial goal, well-defined financial goal. You cannot be very random saying that I want to become financially free, or you cannot say that I want to buy a car or I want to buy a house. The goal should be crux. It should have a definition that I want to buy a house in 2030. I want to retire in 2035. You need to have a clear definition. And then with all these things, you be at peace about your own finances. Then the third step in this is that review your progress. Once you have done these financial plans, understood your financial position, prepared for contingencies, planned for your financial goals, then the next step that comes is that you need to review, because a lot of changes that happens. And so we believe that every year you need to review your financial goals. There could be a birth in a family, death in a family, marriage could happen. You may change your jobs, you may change the city that you live in. So there is always a step that you need to take, which is called as the review of your investment plan. So whatever investments that you have actually planned should be reviewed at regular intervals, and the right time to review is every year. We need to review those financial goals that has been planned. So we understood financial well-being. We understood how to achieve financial well-being. Now we'll understand what action plans are to be taken to achieve financial well-being. So there are 7 action points to achieve financial well-being. It's very simple. The first thing is you need to have a budget. Without budget, you actually cannot do anything. So what do I say when I say budget? What do I mean? let's say your salary per month is about 1 lakh rupees. In this, you need to have a budget that how much should be your savings, how much should be your EMI, how much should be your spendings. If you don't know this, then you will not be able to get started right from step one. You need to clearly understand it. How much should I spend? What should be my limit? How much EMI should I take? What should be my limit? And how much percentage of money I need to save? So how do you make a budget? Like, understand your regular monthly expenses, understand your variable expenses, understand your one-time expenses. There are 3 types of expenses that you could have. Your regular monthly expenses could be grocery, transportation, utility bills, etc. Your variable expenses could be, sometimes you go for shopping, sometimes, you go to a dentist, or sometimes you go to an ophthalmologist to change your spectacles. These are variable, but they're not fixed. And then there are some one-time expenses, like you want to upgrade your mobile phone, you want to buy an washing machine in your house. So these could be some one-time expenses. So you need to make a budget for these 3 different kind of expenses that you could have. So after making the budget, the next step that you need to do is that you need to protect yourself against risk. What risk you could have? The first risk that you could have is a job loss. So you could lose your job, or in your family member, if you are not working, if you are a homemaker, your husband or your father, any of the family member could lose a job. So financially, you have to be prepared. Hence, and then there could be another issue that you could have is that there could be some medical emergency in the family. So how do we cope up with this? Or there could be some abrupt repairs in the house which you can't control. So how do you cope up with this unknowns? The way to do that is that you need to create an emergency fund. We all in our childhood had that piggy bank. You remember that we were putting 100 rupee, 5 rupee, 10 rupee, 20 rupee, and then sometimes in emergency we used to take care of take and use that. Similarly, we have to prepare something called an emergency fund, and this should be 6 to 8 times of your monthly expenses. So you all know your regular monthly expenses. If your regular monthly expenses, let's say 50,000, about 3 to 4 lakh rupees you need to have as an emergency fund. That is how you need to protect yourself against any form of risk. The other form of risk that you could have is that you could be having some kind, there could be some medical expenses, or there could be risk towards life. So for that, you need to take an insurance. When you take an insurance, you only, if you have dependents, if your father is dependent on you, if your husband is dependent on you, or if any of your family members are dependent on you, then you need to take term insurance. This term insurance, thumb rule should be about 20 times of your annual CTC, 20 times of your annual income. This should be the term insurance that you need to have. For example, if you earn 10 lakhs a year, then you should be having a term insurance of about 2 crore rupees. That's a thumb rule, but the actual number would be decided later. And then apart from this term insurance, you should also be having a good medical insurance cover. This medical insurance cover will protect you against any kind of hospitalization. The data says that every Indian family is just one hospitalization away from eroding their savings. What does it mean is that people who don't have health insurance, the moment they get hospitalized, 5, 6, 7 years of their past savings goes towards hospitalization. So we have to evaluate, understand this, and ensure that we take an health insurance so that the money doesn't get spent towards hospital expenses. So this, we spoke on life insurance, we spoke on term insurance. You need to have adequate insurance. You need to get an health insurance as per the need of the family. So apart from this, you could also have critical illness insurance and personal accident insurance and home insurance as well. So these are the 3 other insurance which we need to have apart from the primary term insurance as well as health insurance. The third step to achieve financial well-being is protect your money against inflation. Now, this is very interesting. I'm sure you know this data well. So I'll take some examples. So in the year 2000, a loaf of bread was costing you 10 rupees. In 2010, it was costing 16 rupees. 2020, it was costing 26 rupees. Probably in 2030, this would cost you about 50 rupees. Similarly, a liter of milk in the year 2000, a liter of milk was costing 25. 2022 it is costing 65. Probably in Bangalore it's slightly cheaper, but at a national average the going rate is about 60 to 65 rupees. Probably in 2030 this will cost you 100 rupees per liter of milk. A kg of apple which was costing 25 rupees, 25 rupees per kg 23 years back, now it is costing around 150 rupees. A liter of petrol, we all know that 20 years back it was costing 28 rupees. Now it's closer to 100. Probably 7-8 years later, this will be costing you about 140. So you all see the cost of living is going up and up and up every year. This is nothing but this is called as inflation. Take anything, the salary that you pay to your maid, the rent that you pay, the tomatoes that you buy, everything goes up, and this is called as inflation risk. So our value of our money keep getting depreciating. The power of rupees 100, like 10 years back, for 100 rupees you could buy a small pizza. Now today you can't even buy a slice of pizza at 100 rupees. So the power of our money keeps reducing, keeps coming down and down and down. So a value of 100 rupees in the year 1979 is now worth 4 rupees, which means inflation erodes our purchasing power of money. जो आपके हाथ में जो 100 rupees का note है, with that 100 rupees note you can buy this pen, but 10 years later you may not be able to buy a cap. Some other challenge that we'll all have is that there is something called as lifestyle inflation, which I call this as a time bomb. 5 years back we used to go to a restaurant which cost us 1,000 rupees for a family. Today we look for a fine dining which cost 5,000 rupees for a family of 4 or 5. 400% rise in cost. A normal mobile, 5-7 years back, we used to buy a small Nokia or a small Android phone. Today, we look for an iPhone which cost 1 lakh, is 900% rise in cost. Few years back, scooty or something like that. Now we look for a sedan car, 1,500% rise. Public transport. Few years back, we were traveling in bus. Now we use of cabs, online, Ola, Uber. Annual monthly cost about 10,000 rupees. We used to struggle ourselves in a 2 BHK house. Now we look for a 3 BHK house with swimming pool and club and other facilities. 300% rise. Vacations were costing us 30,000 rupees 5 years back. Now we take like a good luxury vacation which cost about 1 lakh rupees for a family. Isn't this all true for all of us? This is actually impacting us, but we are not even aware of this. So our aspirations are going up, but we are not aware, and our aspirations are going up by this percentage. Apart from this, education abroad towards children, international vacations, and more, these things will keep coming up and up. Modification of home, upgrading home appliances, washing machine change, television, smart TV, OLED TV, these kind of aspirations keep coming up. So this is an inflation which is actually kicking us. So how do you protect this? The way to protect this is that the rate of return that you earn on your investment should be higher than inflation. Now I'll tell you what is this. Today, when I showed all this, the average percentage rise that we have is about 7%. What I mean is that today if Apple costs you 100 rupees, next year it's going to cost you 107 rupees. Today petrol costs you 100 rupees, next year it's going to cost you 107 rupees. So the investments that you do, the rate of return on those investments should be higher than inflation. That is the thumb rule. And this is specific to every country. In Pakistan, inflation is 30%, they get 35% return. In US, inflation is 4%, they get 6% return. So आप जो भी investment करते हो, इस investment का return should be higher than inflation. Now, traditionally we see people do bank FDs, which gives them 6% return. People do PPF, which gives them 7% return. People buy LIC policies, which gives them 4.5% return. All these traditional products, though they offer an element of safety, but they don't beat inflation. If you don't beat inflation, then the purchasing power of your investment keeps reducing down. Then the fourth step, so we understood making a budget, protecting yourself against risk, protecting against inflation. And the fourth thing that you need to do is that diversify, do some asset allocation. So whatever investments that you have, that investments needs to be diversified into different asset classes. So how do we do this? What is a more balanced diet according to you? I'm sure you all could know this. So if anybody want to answer this, A wala thali mein zyada balanced diet hai ya A wala thali mein zyada balanced diet? So if anybody wants to answer this, Anybody wants to answer this? Which is more balanced type?
The first one,
First, yes, yes. Because here you have
it contains everything.
yes, you have chapati which has wheat, then you have dal which has proteins, then you have milk, and then you have green vegetables. So you have protein, vitamin, you have gluten, you have carbohydrates, everything in this. But when you look at this has only wheat. So given a choice, we all will prefer to have this kind of meal, rather than go for a single piece meal. Similarly, when it comes to investment, you should not be investing in only one asset class, like deposits or something like that. You should be diversifying your assets. The diversification should happen across asset class. You should be investing your money in equities. You should be investing your money in bit of gold, bit of money in bonds, and bit of money in international funds. So when you get this kind of diversification, you are actually reducing your risk. So कल आपको अगर चपाती भाती नहीं है तो you can always take rice and then use this and then do some curd rice and then have something like that. But if you don't like a chapati, you have to stay hungry for that evening. Okay. So what is the risk return trade-off? So this is a graph which tells that for the risk that you take, what returns do you get? You take lower risk, you get lower returns. These are your debt funds or your FDs or your PPF products come under this. Then you take a slightly moderate risk, you get returns like gold, which gives you 8.5% return per annum. Then you take a slightly higher amount of risk, then you can get returns like real estate. But if you take slightly higher risk into equities, then you get higher returns. This is what a risk return trade-off. So as financial advisors, what do is that we mix all these things and try to optimize the portfolio, and this is what you should be looking for. Okay. So what I would like to tell you is that don't chase just high returns, be mindful of risk as well. There are risks in equity also, and then there's a way to manage this. I'll show you how. So diversify your investments, have the right asset allocation. So what you should be doing, like you should be having debt funds, you should be having equity funds, liquid funds, a bit of gold, real estate in case if you have excess money. You should be using these instruments to diversify. And how do you do that? You should be having an objective that what you want to achieve for your financial goals. You should be having a time horizon. You should know your risk profile. Hence, you create a good portfolio for yourself. What people do, they invest all their money in deposits and then say that thinking that it will be safer, but that doesn't beat inflation. Or on the other side, what people do is that they put all the money in stocks and thinking that it's going to multiply in few numbers and they are going to get higher. Don't do it in this way. Do it in this way where you get a good optimal portfolio. The benefits of this is that reduces risk. You achieve your financial goals. You be in control in your finances. So 3 ticks has to be taken care: safety, liquidity, returns. What people do is people look only at returns. I see people talking that they invest in 4, 5, 6 different real estate, thinking that gives them higher returns, but they forget that it is an illiquid asset. People invest a lot of money in deposits, thinking that it's safety, but it compromises on the returns. You need to ensure that you have an optimal mix of these things so that you get safety to different instruments, liquidity to different instruments, return to different instruments. And then the next step is start goal-based investing. How? Through SIPs. So you all should be having some financial goals. Without a financial goal, your financial plan will not work. If I ask you that you want to travel from point A to point B, you will say that yes, you want to travel from point A to point B. Point B is your financial goal. Similarly, you should have a financial goal in your life. The financial goals, basic financial goals that people aspire is that they would like to have a house, car, marriage expenses, vacations, higher education for children, retirement plan. Unless you don't have this financial goal, you will never know where to invest your money or in which asset class you should be investing in. You should know why. You should have the answer that why am I investing this money? Unless you don't have this answer, you will not know. You will not, give a justice to your money that you have, that you are investing. So your financial goals should be something like the SMART goals. You have to be very specific goals that in 2020, 2030, I want to, go for a vacation for which it will cost me about 10 lakh rupees. And it should be relevant and it should be time based. You cannot generalize saying that, I want to go for vacation and hence I'm investing my money. You should be very specific that in which year, what you want to achieve, how you want to achieve. So this is called as a SMART goal, investment process that you have to. The more specific you are with respect to financial goals, better is the return on your portfolio. If you say that I need money, I may need money tomorrow, I may need money after 10 years, then that is a very vague goal. You can't have such goals. You should be very clear what you need to do with your funds and what are your financial goals. So one way of starting investments is through SIPs, systematic investment plan, through mutual funds, where drop by drop, water make an ocean. Similarly, every month you keep saving, every month you keep saving money. At some point in time, you see that the pool has become quite bigger, and that from that pool you take care of your financial goals. How does this part of compounding helps? Very simple. These are just illustrations that a small investment of 15,000 every month, how much it will make to 5 years, 15,000 per month for 5 years. You will be investing about 9 lakh, 1.8 lakh rupees per year into 5 is equal to 9 lakh. Now, future value will be about 12 lakh, assuming 12% return. 10 years, 34, 15 years, 75 lakh, 20 years, 1.5 crore, 30 years, 5.2 crore. This is what the power of compounding is all about. Now, how do you use this? So suppose you are 35-year-old and then you say you want to retire at the age of 60. And we all know at the age of 60, when you retire, you need to have a good big corpus. So to achieve this kind of corpus, you just need to start investing regularly, and then this would be possible. This is how you should be taking the benefit of the power of compounding, because it is said that power of compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. Like we have seen seven wonders. Now you see 8 wonders of the world. I'll again tell you, if you invest for 5 years, people you will get, assuming that you will get 12 lakh rupees. But if you say, if I invest for 10 lakh rupees, if I ask if you invest for 10 years, then how much will you make? People just double and say that 12 ka 24 ho jayega. No, this becomes 34 lakh rupees. And if you invest for 20 years, this 34 will not become 68. 20 years becomes 1.5 crore rupees. That is what the power of compounding. So your interest on interest will actually make your investment pool bigger and bigger and bigger. So map your investment according to financial goals. We all learned about, you should be having your financial goals. So you should be having these kind of objectives that, if your financial goals are very small, short, less than 1 year, so that money should be put in savings account, FDs, liquid funds, arbitrage funds, and floater funds. If your investment horizon is short term, which is wherein you need the money within 1 to 3 years, then you need to use this category of funds or FDs, depending on the taxation. If you have a medium term goal, which is 3 to 6 years, you should be using these types of categories of funds, which gives you returns higher than deposits. But if your goals are long term, which are 6 to 10 years, you should be investing in different types of equities. What people do, 10 years money, 10 years, if they have a requirement of 10 years, they put it in FDs, LIC. 1 year money, they play in stock market. And then we all know in 1 year markets will not give any returns. They get a very negative experience that this is not my power. Hence, as I told, that you need to understand your financial goals. You need to understand your objective. If you understand your objective well, then you'll not go wrong. I'm sure many of you would have experienced this, that even if there's a market fall and then you withdraw money, that portion of that money would not have suffered any market losses, because we never invested that money in the equities, and those money were in these types of categories of funds. Okay. Then the sixth point, make finances tax efficient. Nothing is better than having a good tax efficient investment plan. Okay, so you need to understand what is your estimated taxable income, plan investments and expenses, keep relevant tax documents ready, assess your tax liabilities, and file ITR well in advance before the last day. For all of you, 15th of March is the due date for advanced tax. So if you are a professional consultant, or if you have any tax liability, you need to pay this before this. So this is also one more way of saving your money, because if you don't if you don't pay your taxes, the rate of interest could be about 3 to 3.5% per month. That's the kind of penalty in interest that you want to pay. So this is also one way of actually becoming financially well. Then the last point, be involved in your family finances. So of course, for some of you, your husband, your father could be taking the decision. Even if they take the decision, you need to be aware that what is happening, where's the money invested, and you should be having a track of how the portfolio is doing, what is the kind of return, where it's getting invested, to whom it is getting invested. This is very, very important, because it should not happen that nobody is in charge of your family. Though the family member could be the final decision maker, you need to be aware that what are the financial decisions that has been made for the well-being of the family. So how do we do that? What do you do with these existing investments? You should be documenting all these investments. I've seen many families where the head of the family may not be having time to document all these investments, but as a homemaker, you could, if you have time, then you could always take the step of documenting all the family's investments, have a checklist of everything, and ensure that all the email address, mobile numbers are updated in all the investments. How do we do this? We call something called as family FIDOK, Family Information Documents Organizer Kit. In fact, for all our clients, we had sent this to all our clients. So you should be having a information booklet which lists down all your family members, important contacts of the family, important contacts for family, like the lawyer's number, the financial advisor's number, the chartered accountant number, office HR number, name of the contact, mobile number, and email ID. Because tomorrow, in case of any eventuality, in case if that happens, you should be knowing whom to contact for anything in everything related to the person. This is very, very important. So that is how you actually need to plan your finances. And then the sad thing is that many people learn how to manage money after they have made a lot of financial mistakes. Some that takes decades to fix it. This is what Michael Signatory says, that people know, like it's something like this, that everybody knows that doing yoga, doing exercise, keeps you healthy and fit. We all know this, but they learn this probably after they make a lot of financial mistakes, and to correct that financial mistakes, it takes a lot of time to fix it. So hence, this kind of sessions are very important for you to understand that what mistakes you or your family could be doing with respect to finances, and you need to learn this much in advance. Ensure that it doesn't take decades to fix it. So it's time for actions. So I'll just summarize this. Prioritize your financial health, prepare a financial plan, review progress, make the 7-point action plan, like make a budget, have a budget. You need to know how much you need to spend for, protect yourself against any risk, protect against inflation, diversify your investments, start investing through goal-based, makes finances tax efficient, and be involved in the family finance. That's it. Thank you so much. Happy to have any questions, and a bit of myself for those of you who don't know. My name is Deepesh Mehta, and I have my colleagues Sujata, Sujata, Geeta, Gautam, Sapna, and Ishant, my team. Today, Sujata was supposed to take the session. There was some laptop issue. In fact, the session was decided in a way that Sujata would be taking the session, but due to some camera issue, she couldn't take up the session, and hence I'm taking this session. However, Sujata, why don't you say hi to all of you? Her camera is not working.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm sorry for the last minute hitch, but sometimes tech doesn't work. So the camera isn't working. So Deepesh. Deepesh had to take over, but it's been a pleasure to have you all attend our Sunday afternoon session. And I hope you all really picked up a few tips that we shared today, and we look forward to you getting in touch with us.
And in fact, since we wanted to have this women empowerment session, so Sujata had planned for this, and I was not supposed to take this session. Okay, and then something bit about us, like we manage 285 crores worth of assets. We have 475 families, 75 years of experience across me, Sujata, and other team members. You have seen 2008, 2020, and seen the difficult phases of people life, seen the good phases of people life, handheld them at every point. All our team members are certified. That's it. Thank you so much. I would like to end this saying that the future depends on what we do today.